Have you ever had a lead contact you and then for whatever reason you can just never get them back on the phone again and you can never get them to sign up? Well, how many times should you actually follow up with that lead, and how much is too much to the point where you're getting annoying, and how much is too little to the point where you really haven't done enough to follow up with them in the first place? Well, I'm going to answer all of those questions and more in this video. Now, if you want more tips on how to grow your law firm and get more clients, then I want you to click the subscribe button right down there if you're on YouTube, and make sure to click the bell icon. That way you're alerted every single time I create a new video. And also, let me know in the comments, when a new lead comes into your office, how many times do you follow up with them before giving up? Is it once? Is it twice? Is it 5 times? Is it 10 times? Let me know down in the comments, because I'm very interested to know what the average is. Hey everyone, Andy Stickle here, author of How to Get More Law Firm Clients Without Losing Time and Money or Getting Screwed by a Marketing Company. Now, as an agency owner, there's a lot of times when I will talk to clients and I'll have a report that shows how many leads we were able to generate them within the previous period. And I'll talk to the client and they'll say, well, yeah, we got a lot of leads, but I really didn't get too many, cases. And I'll say, well, why not? And they'll say, because I wasn't able to get anybody on the phone. So typically the next question I say is, okay, well, how many times did you follow up? And the clients will often say, usually like 1 or 2 times, which really that means 1 time most of the time. Sometimes they did 2 times. And this is a very common thing that happens with law firms. You give up too easily or too quickly when you can't get a lead on the phone for the first time. I remember back when I was in college, I used to transfer people's VHS tapes to DVD. So people had all these home recordings, they were sitting in their attic, and I would transfer those to DVD. So what happened when I started marketing that business is I would put those yard signs out that basically it was just a white sign I put on the side of the road during rush hour, and it said transfer your VHS tapes to DVD. People saw it, they saw my phone number, they picked up the phone and they called. So everyone I would talk to, they'd be so excited. They would say, oh yeah, I'm going to go home. I got an entire box in my attic. I'm going to count them up and I'm going to give you a call later and I'm going to bring them over to you and then we're going to transfer them. But the problem was that this was going on for 2 weeks where I was getting a lot of phone calls, but nobody was following up. Nobody was actually, following up and then hiring me to do this VHS to DVD stuff. So what I started doing is I started following up with them. I started calling again and again and texting and emailing and doing everything I had to do until eventually I got them on the phone and they were like, oh my God, I've been looking for your phone number. And what's funny is I left them voice messages, I left them text messages, and many of them, it was like they were hearing from me for the first time. Like they were searching for my number high and wide, even though I texted them and I left them voice messages. So what my point with this whole thing is that you've got to be diligent and you've got to follow up many, many times. So we have another client who is also, we're running a Facebook lead generation campaign for them, and he got about half as many leads as the initial client that I told you about, but this client signed up 24% of those cases. And I asked him, well, how did you do it? And he said, well, I have a method called the 3 times 3 ways method. And I said, well, what is that? I've never heard of that. So here's what it is. It's called 3 times 3 ways. And it's very simple. Every single lead that comes through his door, whether it's a phone call, whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, whether it's a message on Facebook, whether it's a form submission on his website, it doesn't matter what it is. Every single lead gets contacted 3 times, 3 different ways. And those ways that they use are phone call, text message, and email. So, for them to disqualify you and say, you are this person, we're no longer going to reach out to this lead. That lead will have been called 3 times. They will have received 3 text messages and they will have received 3 emails. Every single lead goes through this treatment. And as a result, they signed up 24% of the leads that came through the door compared to the other attorney who got twice as many leads. And I don't know if he signed up anyone. And his biggest complaint was I couldn't get in touch with people. You have to remember, when someone calls your law firm or fills out a form or responds to a lead request or however they contact you, they call you or they do whatever they do, and then they move back on with their life. They're not sitting around just waiting by the phone, just hoping you're going to call, right? So they go back to work. They go to their kids' soccer practice. They go to a doctor's appointment. They go to the grocery store. They're in all these different situations where they cannot answer at that one time when you happen to call. So what you need to do is you need to be diligent. You need to understand a lot of people are going to forget that they even contacted you in the first place. A lot of people are also going to not be in a situation where they can answer the phone right away. A lot of people don't like talking on the phone. That's why you should text. I always text. I love texting. And then also, a lot of people don't answer phone numbers that they don't recognize. People are spammed so much that you need to call them a couple times to actually get them to pick up the phone, even if they're in a position where they can talk on the phone, because a lot of times they just don't want to talk on the phone, and honestly, they don't want spam either. So this client brought this up 3 times 3 ways, and it makes so much sense. Now, there's one thing that you could do also where it's actually 3 times 4 ways. Now, the 4th way is if they message you on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or somewhere like that where they actually send you a direct message. Now you can actually reach out 3 different ways or 3 times on 4 different platforms. You have to remember the most important thing is that you're able to just keep contacting them and try to get them to at least tell you no. That's really the biggest thing. Now, a lot of times people are like, I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to be a pest. But honestly, this is what it requires. If you use 3 times 3 ways or 3 times 4 ways, and then at that point you still can't get them on the phone, then at that point I would say it's pretty safe to say that they're not going to become a client. But I'll be honest with you, even when I was transferring the VHS tapes, I would contact people 10, 15 times. And on the 15th time, that's when they would actually pick up the phone and hire me. So, you know what? Honestly, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're not going to answer the phone, or they're going to call and say stop, or they're going to pick up the phone and say stop calling me. But just imagine that there's that person that they work the night shift, and you're calling them during the day while they're asleep, so they're not answering the phone. I mean, there's all types of reasons why people wouldn't answer the phone. So you've got to give yourself the best fighting chance that you can. So make sure that you implement this 3 times 3 ways strategy for your law firm. Now, if you want to learn more about getting more leads and more clients, then go ahead, pick up a free copy of my book. You can get it. There should be a link below this video, and also you can go to freebookforlawyers.com. This book's actually completely free. We just ask that you cover the shipping and handling, which is a teeny tiny amount. So click the link below here, grab the book. Let me know, how many times do you follow up with your prospects when you get a lead, and has your opinion changed after seeing this video? And if you have any questions at all, let me know in the comments below, and I will talk to everybody soon.